This is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I am here to do my August book Bujo reading journal, whatever you want to call it, setup. Before I do that, I do want to walk you through kind of where we are at so far. This is in my Artist Loft dot grid, which I got from Michael's at the start of the year. Obviously, cover page hasn't really changed. Grid page hasn't changed. July pages are in progress. This whole checklist is in progress. I'm doing really well at my reading. Today is the 29th. Excuse me. So I have read every day. So pretty successful, keeping up with putting little monthly themes here and keeping up with my personal goals, which is great. I've had a couple of weeks where I only posted one Bookstagram photo instead of two, but it is what it is. I don't mind it. On Romanceopoly, I had already finished these kind of main requirements to technically complete Romanceopoly, but I am working on the seasonal challenges. This month I read 2 of the seasonal challenges for the summer challenge, which goes July through September. So hopefully I can get to the other 2 in the next couple of months. This one, I had a fantasy romance that fit, but it specifically says paranormal romance. So I need to find a curse breaking related paranormal romance, which I'm sure I will get to. And then this one for miscommunication, that one's a little bit rough for me because I don't really like the miscommunication trope, or mistaken identity. So I might have to go with rivals, to make that work. And we'll see how that goes. And then over here, I did finish 2 of these prompts, I think, that were fulfilled. 1 or 2 got filled in, at least this one. Got filled in, not sure. Might have filled another one. But I have just this one prompt for spicy or taboo dark romance left. If you have a recommendation for something that you think I would like, I don't love super, super dark. But let me know if you have recommendations there. On Map of Stories, I don't believe I made any progress this month, but I just have contemporary and literary fiction left. Those are my 2 hardest genres, I think, because I read a lot of genre blends, but not a lot really fitting in either of these by themselves. Contemporary, I'm kind of leaning towards that Welcome to the Hunum Dum bookshop. I think that would be really cute and fun to read. For literary fiction, I'm a little less certain on what I should pick here, but I will figure that out hopefully at some point. Moving further back, let's start with my June reading stats. So I read exactly 30 books in 30 days. So that was, I guess, successful. 8,100 pages, DNF'd 1 book, average rating of 3.58, which is a little lower than I would love to be, but it's not too bad overall. I read a lot of new authors, a mix of own voices and not own voices. I'm okay with a half-half mix. Of course, I would love to read more own voices books, but sometimes I just read other things. They fit prompts, stuff like that. And I also read a lot of history of science, which unfortunately full of a lot of white men. But I think doing pretty well there. Lots of new releases for sure. Mixture of genres, mixtures of formats. And my favorite book of the month was called True Color, The Strange and Spectacular Quest to Define Color from Azure to Zinc Pink by Corey Stamper. I thought this book was so good. It was a history of definitions and dictionaries mixed with bits about history of science, memoir, pop culture, all of those kinds of things. It was in a very conversational style, super fun read. Highly recommend the audiobook. I thought that was a really good experience. I also enjoyed The Drunken Botanist, Metropolitan Mysteries, Everything in Color, and Margin of Error. I thought those were all pretty good as well. Moving on to the next one. These pages are for my Our Fantasy Bingo. I have fulfilled 10 of the prompts thus far, so that feels pretty successful. I feel like 5 was kind of iffy on getting filled because it is a spaceship on the Unusual Transport. But to me, I think the fact that it was run by moss, definitely made it unusual and a different take than what we tend to see in sci-fi, where kind of the sentient ship creatures are the ship itself, and they're like silicone based computer type things. So I do think it counts. I do think I pushed that prompt a little bit, but it's also the hardest one to fulfill. But I think that there's probably other books that I will or have read that would fit that as well during the year. So I'm not too worried about that one. But I've made really good progress. I'm currently in the middle of a fantasy book. So we'll have to see what it can count for. I think it could go into publish in 2026, but that's like the easiest of the prompts. So I've been trying to fulfill everything else earlier as much as possible. I might put it in Judge a Book by the title. It's called The Impossible Garden of Clara Thorne. Definitely intrigued by the title. We'll see. But definitely, I think by the end of the month, I should have at least 11 of these filled out. So that's really good progress since I'm hoping to finish this by the end of 2026. Moving into July, my cover page hasn't changed a lot. I only had one arc this month, so not a lot going on there. And then here's what I've been reading. I've had definitely a lot of ups and downs. I haven't had any super amazing reads, but I've had a few DNFs, so not my fave on that front. I did really enjoy The Grief of Stones, and I look forward to finishing off that trilogy. I think that's going to be really exciting for sure. I finished off the Cozy Verse Pack series, so I thought that was really nice. Glad I finished that. And then over here I've had a few more reads. Stay for a Spell was just so cute. Highly recommend for when you're just feeling those cozy vibes. I think that's perfect for that. So with that, here's where we're at. As I mentioned, today's the 29th, so I do still have 2.5 days left this month. My expectation is I'm going to finish my current book and read 1, maybe 2 more. It depends on how short they are. So this should definitely be plenty of space. So I'm going to leave that there. This is going to be for my July stats, and then I'm going to start August here. For this month, I am using this set of travel washi. I think I got it at JoAnn's quite a while ago, long before they closed. I don't actually have travel planned in August, but I feel like August is travel vibes, so I think it'll be perfect. So I'm going to use that. And then I did also pull out, I have this kind of like coral zebra mild liner. This end is the wrong color, by the way. Or no, maybe this top end is the wrong color. Anyway, it looks like it's kind of like mustard yellow at the top or bright orange at the bottom. It's one of those colors in a I Buy M fine liner. And then I have this Uniball Signo in blue black. I usually don't use this one in this planner, but I pulled it out just in case, so I have everything. And then the last thing I pulled is I have a bunch of these kind of like cactus themed wreath stickers. This came from this set that I got from AliExpress like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that. But I've been using one of these floral sets every month, so I wanted to continue it. And I felt like the colors in these two went really well. And I feel like the cactus vibes just kind of fits. So I think I'm going to use both of these. And to make those work, I do pull out my Mean Show fine liners. They just write better on this particular sticker. So I'm just gonna get started and do a bunch of things, and then I will be back so that we can talk about what we have. So far, I put in these 6 little wreaths here with the August. I put the little vertical line, and then I made all these little flags with the other washi tapes. I think it turned out pretty cute overall, to be honest. I almost wish I had switched these so that it would be kind of symmetrical, but I think it turned out cute the way it is, so I'm just going to leave it. Over here, I added another vertical line, and I put the last of these two wreaths here to make the month and the year, just to kind of add a little bit of interest on this page. This is going to make my August priority reads. I do have quite a few arcs coming out in August, so it is going to be pretty busy. In terms of readathons, I don't have anything set up right now because the only one I think I'm participating in is the literature readathon, which isn't until the middle of the month. So there's no sense in me setting it up right now. But I will get that set up whenever the time comes. And I will use these spaces for the books, for that setup, all of that kind of stuff. But this is where we're looking at right now for the pre-planning side of things. So as always, please like and subscribe below if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Let me know how your reading plans are going, your prep for August, any readathons you're participating in, ones you think I should participate in, book recommendations. I want to hear it all. If you're not feeling chatty, leave me a suitcase emoji down below. I would love to hear from you and say hi and all of that good stuff. And until then, check out my Instagram and Blue Sky at Creative Life of Liz. You'll see in progress and finished spreads, bits and pieces of my life, what I'm reading, all that good stuff. And until next time, bye.